I'm in beautiful Hillsboro, Oregon, in a little shopping area. And I wanted to do this real briefly because, oh, there's a duck. They come in pairs. I wonder where his mate is. I think that's the male. Yeah, I heard on a YouTube video the Mr. Musk, Elon Musk, was talking about how fear, when you feel fear, he said, face fear straight in the face, or something like that. Face it head on, and fear will go away. And then I heard also Alan Masters on the FHU program, which he's thoroughly screwed up, radio show. And I don't mean that as a put down, it just is a fact. And I won't go into why. Again, he's just totally intellectualized it, made it a MAGA show. But now that it's getting a little bit more revealed that Trump is really screwing up badly, and he already had screwed up the whole economy with going along with the clot shots and the insane. Anybody could see that the whole lockdown idea of it would damage businesses over a virus that wasn't even that bad, and he went full on with that and paraded his corona bullshit virus team all over the country, scaring, promoting for people to hide. And it devastated like over 1 million small businesses. As a matter of fact, it killed them. How many of those have restarted? We don't know. Probably not most of them. So anyway, yes, that was largely his fault. And now he's doing these, well, let me go into that in a second. But yeah, so now that he's screwing up, I want to share in the description a link that shows the actual real tariff rates, which are quite low actually. I mean, we're talking like under 2%, 5%, stuff like that. Europe and the UK have been charging us, and China. It's not anywhere near what he was showing. He was lying again. I mean, he's scamming this. So he creates a blown up lie version, telling us all that they're ripping us off. It's disgusting, blah, blah, blah. Ginning up resentment for the world, our trading partners. Then bam, he hits them with this totally exaggerated tariff based on a lie. And everybody sees it. All these leaders of the other nations and stuff, it's not even a question. The way he calculated that is ridiculous. That's known. It's just a scam. I hope to God our Congress stops him, because he's going wild, as just only the beast of Revelation could do. And so far he's gotten away with a lot. So that's why, Alan and Jan on the FHU, I bring it up because it was my church and I'd spent a lot of money supporting it, and Roy built it up to hand it over to these bozos who are just intellectual, and I'm sorry to call them bozos, but kind of not, because they're really kind of a joke, and they're talking like they're all spiritual and like Roy, and clearly they're not. And there's no way in hell Roy would still support Trump when he's doing these things and helped mass murder, and it's ongoing because of that spike protein mass production of the DNA doesn't go away because they hacked God's DNA, and he's going for more now. He's going for more, and Alan Jan's still supporting him, and Alan told me, well, Roy supported Trump. Well, yeah, before all this stuff happened. I mean, anyone of any heart, any soul, any vision at all would you don't just keep on staying loyal to evil. I mean, that's like, hello, duh. So Alan was saying today that since I was talking about fear, that fear, he's talking like he knows again. They don't know anything because they're caught up in their head. I mean, maybe some things, but they're all caught up in this false conscience that's acting like the light. And I know they're getting away with it too. But I mean, it's not like on the scale of evil like Trump is. But he was saying fear is the absence. I mean, the opposite of fear is faith. So if you have faith, you won't have fear. But the actual reality, truth is, and Elon just facing it doesn't chase it away. I mean, it could. It's noble to go through fear, but it doesn't go away just by looking at it. It's the way you face it. You face it without any anger and without any struggle. And also, it's not the opposite of faith. Through patience possess ye your soul. Fear is like a byproduct of resentment, of judgment. So if you fall to resentments and judgments, because we're caught up in the knowledge of good and evil in our head, and that makes us susceptible to the world, and then the evil thoughts and the, those little nagging judgments in our head. But if we practice the Roy Masters Be Still exercise, that will solve that largely, totally actually, when we're doing it correctly and really, want only to serve good in God. So we have fear because we follow that. If you don't have faith, you'll have fear, but it's just like Roy said, and Alan, his son, doesn't get it, because he really didn't learn a lot from his father, unfortunately. But I've seen in my own life, and it's not just because I heard it from Roy, but when I focused on being patient, and we have to do that every day, to be objective to all the words in our head, all the thoughts, all the self-talk, and then when that gives you that objectivity, that separation from all the mind stuff and the world. And then, because I notice when I focus on that, the fear goes away. If you focus on the fear and think, I have to have faith, not have fear, it's a confusion. That's not what it is, because when you become more patient, the fear goes away. So the fear is just a byproduct of hatred. That's all it is. But nobody talks about that except Roy. Excuse me, and he's gone now. I mean, he's in heaven. But so fear it's hard. It hurts the ego, but if you just see it, focus more on love, on forgiveness, like patience, and then the fear will just dissipate. It'll go away. Maybe not all at once. And then you might, say you call talk radio, or you get in front of a public, forum and you speak. You might have a little fear of that. Like a Roy told me, that's just like a little bit of stage fright. That's a little different, because you're going beyond your comfort zone in something kind of, so that you could have a little fear of that, but then as soon as you do it, that goes away. So you're wrong, Elon, and you're wrong, Alan. And Trump is a evil bastard, I'm sorry. And he's scamming the United States and the world. And as I explained, and I'm gonna prove it. I mean, I don't even have to prove it, but I'm gonna show you the link. If anybody who cares knows, when I was watching his stupid, idiotic show, little stage act, his numbers were so high. I knew intuitively he was lying. He's lying to the world. And the world leaders, they're like, oh my God. Like he's lying and slandering us, calling us rip-off and everything. And the trade deficit is not necessarily a bad thing. That just means we're buying more of their products because we have more money, we have more success here, so we're buying more foreign goods. A lot of those nations are smaller. God bless them. They import more, and then we export less. That's not a bad thing. It could get out of whack, but it's not like it's not this boogeyman that, well, Trump had to lie and show, and the way he did because he wanted to nail the world. So now he's firing a bunch of people that he doesn't need to, without actually doing it in a good way. And then he's hurting services. He's hurting like fire protection services and stuff. In Oregon, I mean, there's a lot they're just taking a meat axe, and that's kind of the way Elon. I was going to work for Elon when I lived in near the Bay Area, and he was doing this BS where like you never knew, like one week you'd work, the next week he'd lay off a bunch of people, then you'd come back and work. It was like, what kind of company does that to people? And that's the way he's treating the federal workforce now. I'm not saying, I know the government's way too big, but you have to do it in a proper way. They're not doing that, and that's why the judges are shutting them down on some things. Thank God. And you got to cut the budget. Firing a bunch of people is causing disruption. They go into the workforce too. They have to get jobs from the private sector. Okay, I mean, some you can do, but if you do too much, it causes havoc, and you do it haphazardly like they are. And now it's the same thing, causing havoc on the world scene now, slapping these huge trade taxes. That's going to harm a lot of people overseas, a lot of people here. Price is going to go high when he promised. He ran and he promised that he was going to get the prices down, and he does the opposite. Because we were suffering under Biden. I've never seen prices go so high in my life. So he lied, and now he's lying to the world to nail them. This all looks purposeful to me. He didn't slap Russia with any, and they import. Even they're still importing millions of dollars of stuff, even though they have sanctions. He didn't put any tariff on them, and he put tariff on 10% on Ukraine, who's fighting for the survival as their towns get wiped out, blown to the ground, purposefully mass murdering civilians. He never calls out that. He never calls out the war criminal, the war crimes. Nope. Just like Uncle Putin. And then now I have a suspicion that him and Putin are together in a far more sinister way than we realize, and he's purposefully doing damage to the world economy. It's going to take a little time for it to damage a lot, and a lot of people are going to lose jobs. And there's going to be a move on the world, just like it says in Revelation, and they're going to gain control over all the nations. And this is a precursor to that, it appears to me. Anyway, God bless you, and regardless of all this, I hope you have a great day or evening, and I mean that. Just practice that, Roy Masters. Be still and get separate from all the worldly events. I mean, objective to it, All right. Thank you. Bye.